Hello and welcome back to Climate TV. I'm Eduardo Gonçalves. Today I'm going to be speaking to John Church, who's the Executive Vice President of the Global Supply Chain at General Mills. John, thank you very much for joining us. First of all, let's talk about the major announcement that you've just made. It's a big commitment. What exactly does it consist of?
So we've just committed to a 28% reduction in our absolute greenhouse gas footprint. That we're going to achieve that by 2025, with our long-term aspiration, 2050, being that we achieve sustainable emission levels. For us, the part that's different about this is this idea of an absolute reduction rather than a per unit, sort of dividing growth versus our footprint. And additionally, it's based on science. We didn't start with what we needed to do, what we thought we could get away with, what we thought the public would accept, what we thought was our fair share. We calculated and we said, based on the best science available for us to achieve the goals and be part of the solution of climate change, we needed to have a 28% reduction in the next 10 years, and we needed to aspire to even greater by 2050.
So now tell us why you did it and why it's such an important decision for General Mills.
Well, it starts with our purpose. We're a purpose-driven company, and our purpose is to serve the world by making food that people love. And that relationship starts with our relationship with the earth. We get our raw materials from there. That allows us to delight our consumers. And we think in that process, there's an implicit equation around treating the earth with kindness and care. For us to be around for the next 150 years, we're a 149-year-old company today. It requires us to have an ecosystem that we can rely on, and it requires us to have people living on the planet. As we look at climate change, we see this as one of the biggest risks to our business model, and as such, we'd be foolish not to start taking steps appropriately.
So talk me through a little bit about what exactly you're doing. Is it energy efficiency? Is it adopting renewable energy? I mean, what are the changes, the decisions that you're adopting?
So we started this journey back in 2005, and we approached it really from a what can we see, what can we control. It was really a four walls kind of a model. And we've done a fairly decent job of that. We've reduced our absolute greenhouse gas out of our own operations by 14%. But when you do the life cycle analysis on our value chain, 66% of the greenhouse gases occur upstream in agriculture. And so what we were doing was necessary, but not sufficient. So really what this is an extension of work we're doing. We've done things to improve our distribution systems and reduce the fuel necessary to get our products to market. But really this is going to be very intensive around agriculture and ensuring that we're doing the right things there around the footprint, as well as changing our products, removing packaging materials and those types of things, and ensuring the recyclability and reuse of our products at the end state of the life cycle. So it's really an entire value chain look.
Now, you were saying to me a little earlier before we started that this was something that's been driven by the business case as far as General Mills is concerned. So tell us exactly what that business case was.
So it starts with the importance this has to our consumers and to our customers. This is a topic that society is starting to understand at a deeper level, and maybe no place more pointedly than the millennials that will become the consumers and the parents and the people that we want to bring into our company. And so for us to satisfy their needs and delight them, it's going to mean that we have product offerings and value sets that allow them to live their values through the purchases of our products. Then we look at the absolute business case, which is, as we've been on this journey, we're saving money. When you look at an entire value chain, the opportunity to apply only the right amount of inputs, whether that's the right amount of seed, the right amount of fertilizer, the minimum amount of land necessary at the highest possible yields, all of those things reduce waste. And that waste, inevitably in this equation, leads to greenhouse gas generation, whether it's over nitrification, whether it's solid food that's wasted and spoils and becomes greenhouse gases. We can optimize that process, not just in our four walls, but the whole distance. That's going to save our value chain money and each of the participants in that chain.
How does that help to make a company like General Mills more climate resilient and a company that's going to be a market leader in years to come?
So we think that as you look at 9 billion people and the fact that we want to grow, we have to unlink our growth from our greenhouse gas footprint. And in order for us to continue to source raw materials that are high quality and nutritious for our products, we need to have an earth that can sustain that, and we need to have consumers that can be sustained by that earth. And so at the very macro level, that's where the resilience starts. And the way you take action around that is you build better soil. You ensure that your actions are not wasteful, and you assure that you share information that allows you to collaborate and innovate. And we think that's where the difference will be.
What's your message to other companies, to other business leaders? Should they follow suit? And is there a role that policymakers can play to support that kind of decision making?
So, there's still people who are not sure climate change is real. Even if you view it as a potential risk within your business model and you're not doing something about it, that's probably irresponsible. So I would encourage everybody to take a hard look at this, regardless of what side of the line they stand on there. My message to our peer companies and to the companies we're collaborating with already in our value chain is we're open for business. We're not going to solve this by ourselves. And General Mills solving this problem entirely for itself doesn't fix the world's problem. We hopefully can cause collaboration and innovation to happen, which will bring other people to the table, and we can lead by example. And for policymakers, there clearly is going to be a role for public policy to play. But for us, that has three very important components. First of all, that policy has to be proportionate, which means it takes a look at all sources and all levels of carbon, and we address them evenly, not the ones that are easy or the ones that are politically correct, but we truly address the issue in order to sustain this planet. Secondly, it has to be effective, which means it's based on science and real rigor and analysis, and isn't subject to potential changes in policy based on what's politically favorable at the time. And then lastly, it has to be efficient. It has to be a policy that's easy to understand, that's easy to work through, and isn't onerous and burdensome from a red tape perspective, because that will be a non-starter. And we'll have as many businesses that are choosing to fight that because it has red tape and it costs money, and they'll take away that it will distract people from solving the real problem at hand.
John Church, thank you very much indeed. Speaking to John Church there, he's the Executive Vice President of the Global Supply Chain at General Mills. That's all we've got time for today, but join us again soon here at Climate TV. From everyone at the Climate Group, goodbye.